Aloha and shalom. Just gonna shuffle while you guys tune in. So, I was so close to not doing this activation for the first time in a few years. I always do it. It's like, no matter what, no matter where I am, I always somehow make it work, right? And this time I really was like, no, I can't. Got a lot of stuff going on. I just don't have the time or space to do it, right? And somehow it just magically all came together. Didn't even have my cards on me, which is very unlike me. But I ended up in the perfect place at the perfect time with a lovely sister who offered me to use this brand new deck. So this deck has not ever been used before. I usually use a very specific deck to do these collective readings, so especially not having that on me, I thought there's no way. But the way was paved. It's just meant to be. So I'm shuffling them right now. This is the first quarter activation. So for those of you who have seen these videos before, you know that this has nothing to do with the moon. So listen up for all the new people tuning in right now. It has nothing to actually do with the moon. The moon is just a measurement of time to track these readings that happen once a week. So we're at the first quarter moon right now, and the light of the moon reflects the light of the sun, which reflects the light of the one that's inside you and inside me and behind all things. So the first quarter moon is just telling us that we are 1 week into this monthly process. Last week was the new moon, it was a new beginning, it was a dark sky. It's like we were in the creative womb, stepping into this new cycle. And now here we are 1 week in. So we want to ask, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We want to ask, where are we at? What is the theme of this month that we've now stepped into, that once we discover which card is pulled for that question, we will know right away. We'll look at it and say, yes, that's exactly where I'm at. So that's what this particular first quarter reading is all about. So go ahead and meet me in the timeless, most expansive place we can possibly meet. And that is the place of the heart. This just happens to be here in this room right now. This is not my room. It's just a magical place that I'm visiting right now. So let's meet in the golden heart space. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, so we don't need to create a space, right? Energy can only be transformed. Cannot be created or destroyed. So again, we don't need to create the space. We need to access the biggest one that already exists. And of course, that's the infinite space of the heart. So meet me there. And if you're really there, it means that you have, at least for this moment, set aside everything you've been carrying with you all day, all week, all month, maybe many months, maybe your entire lifetime, maybe even beyond this life, maybe even for multiple past lives. We're setting that all aside for this moment, because when we meet in that expansive place of the heart, it is timeless, infinitely open and receptive, ready to receive the wisdom of the world of archetypes, which sees all of the little things going on within the bigger picture. So in this moment, there are no limits. We are giving thanks in advance to Creator, Source, Great Spirit, Hashem, whatever you want to call it, for giving us this opportunity right now to be as open as possible, because we are doing the work of the Most High. We are doing work that is for the highest good of the One. And so we are granted that openness and that receptivity, the ability to be these conduits, if we just ask. If you're doing it really with the highest intention, then why would it not be granted to you? The universe is built in such an intelligent design. It's self-serving. But who is the self? The highest one of which we are all a part. So know this in your heart. If you're doing that work right now and you're coming into this activation portal with the highest intention, then of course, God, Great Spirit, is going to do everything that God can do to make you the best conduit right now, which means, yeah, you are able to put all that stuff aside right here, even if you've not been able to, even if you've been carrying this heavy burden for so long. In this moment, if you just simply recognize that if you are doing the work of the Most High, you can put it aside, you will put it aside. And God, Great Spirit, Source, is going to help you do that. Okay. So then when you feel like you're in that space of the heart where we meet as one, go ahead and send your energy into the deck, connect to the deck however you know how. You can see yourself here with me right now. You can see yourself holding hands with everybody that's tuning in live right now. You can see your energy weaving with the deck. Send a thread of light from your inner eye to the deck or from your heart to the deck. Whatever you want to do, have fun with it. Wherever you're tuning in from around the world, let us know in the comments so we can see where our web is connecting, spreading. What is the network right now? Go ahead and let us know where you are. Physically, anyway. Because I think mentally, we're all in the same one space. What have we stepped into this month? What are we 1 week into? What's the challenge and gift of this month? And where are we headed? So as we move through this challenge and gift, each time we move through it, with each opportunity that we face, each struggle that we overcome, it's going to bring us one step closer to this second card we pulled that is showing us the future of this monthly cycle. So good to see you guys here. All right, let's go. This is the challenge and gift right now. 9 of Pentacles. 9s are endings. 10s are endings and new beginning. The Roman numeral for 10 is an X, right? X marks the spot. But which spot? The end or the beginning? Well, they're one. But when we're talking about 9, it's right before the 10. It's the end. It's talking about coming to an end. And it's Pentacles. So here we're talking about thoughts becoming things. Okay, so we may have had previously an idea or a definition of what success looks like. You know, and for some of us that may have been purely, you know, material, or for some of us that may have been too much, you know, in the spiritual realm, and for some of us that's balanced. But we all had this concept of what it looked like to be prosperous and successful and to manifest that abundance. But now we're coming to a point where we're refining that vision of what true prosperity looks like, what true fulfillment on this plane looks like. When you look at those pentacles, it's not just, people think money right away. They think gold coins, money. But the value of those coins is dependent upon the depth of the realization happening in the unseen realm, because thoughts become things. So depending upon the quality of those thoughts, the value of the coins or the pentacles is determined. So this image here is showing us, like, this is us, right? This is an aspect of every one of us, man and woman. And it's that part of us that decides what true abundance looks like. What do I really want to manifest? What is going to bring me fulfillment? How can I use everything that I know, or all the realizations I've come to, all the lessons that I've learned? How can I use those to best manifest a life of prosperity? A material reality that reflects, hopefully, not only fulfillment in that realm, but fulfillment in every realm. So the goal here is to ask ourselves, what has that vision of fulfillment and prosperity been for me? And is it still what I believe? Or is it time to create a new vision for that fulfillment and prosperity and abundance? And it's like, well, where do I begin? How do How do I refine that vision? How do I know if that vision is right and if it needs to be tweaked and refined? Well, you got to ask yourself, is this vision you have for fulfillment on the material plane going to be one that is reflective of fulfillment on the spiritual plane, on the mental plane, on the emotional plane? Because just because something looks good in one dimension doesn't mean it's going to look great in all of them. As in one dimension, so it is in all. So what you envision for your material reality must be a reflection of your spiritual, mental, emotional reality. So it's about asking, how are these things that I want to manifest, right? Whether it be relationship, car, home, job, toys, whatever, art supplies, anything big or small. I mean, not just things like relationships too, because these are all part of our, very real physical material reality. It's about asking, how do those things that I'm calling in, that I think are going to bring me fulfillment, how are those things going to nurture the unseen aspects of myself, my emotional nature, my mental nature, my spiritual nature? How are those things going to provide the material vessel for me to continue this ritual of evolution and progression spiritually and psychologically? Is this relationship that I believe is going to be so fulfilling, is this relationship going to provide me with the proper opportunity to support the growth that I acknowledge, that part of the path I'm on? Like, is this relationship going to support where I'm at in my process of growth spiritually and psychologically? Or am I being deceived in some way? Is this job that I really think is going to be the vision, the image of prosperity, is this job really going to be prosperous for my psychological development and my spiritual growth? It's about really checking in with yourself and creating this vision and a feeling that goes along with this vision to support it of what I believe prosperity and fulfillment is on this plane. And I know that it does not start on the physical, material plane. That only ends up being a reflection of what is inside. That's how we refine that image. Look, if your vision of prosperity always was the same and you feel it still is the same, then good for you. But remember this, it's about re-accepting those visions in. Even if it's exactly the same vision you've always had and it's what you've always wanted and you're like, nope, it's still what I want, it's still supportive of my growth in every way, then great. But re-accept it into your life from where you are at now. Because we can want the same things for a long time, but we ourselves are shifting and growing. Change is the only constant. And so we have to re-accept these programs, these thought programs, re-accept these dreams and visions from a new perspective. Because even if the dream is the same, the circumstances never are. It's impossible. Seasons change, within and without. So it's just about asking, not what was my vision of prosperity, but what is it in this moment? And if you have to start with what it's been because you need a starting point, that's fine. But make sure you ask yourself if right now you're ready to reinforce that same old vision you've always had, or if it needs to be tweaked. Okay, so this is you, this is me, and this is us feeling complete and prosperous and abundant on this plane. Wow, I feel fulfilled. I'm giving my mental energy, my emotional energy, and my physical energy to those things on this plane that are serving as a ritual to aid in my pursuit of progression psychologically and spiritually. I feel confident. This is how we should feel by the end of this month. We should be saying, I feel confident that I have manifested a material reality that is helping me move toward that fulfillment, mind, body, soul. Because we're never perfect. We're always refining. We're always going through cycles of the same lessons, ever deeper. So no, we're not just going to come to this end and feel fulfilled, because what comes after the 9, the 10, 1 through 9, 10 begin again. So it's not about like, this is the end. No, but this is like an end of one cycle before it begins again. All we can do is do our best. Let God do the rest. So all we can do is do our best to create that vision of a material reality that's going to support not only our fulfillment here, but in every dimension. That's what we're working toward. So that's our challenge and gift. So before I pull the next card, I just want to talk about how that relates to specifically being the challenge and gift of this time. It appears as a challenge through all of our situations, through all of, what life is giving us as opportunities right now, through all of our relationships, through all of our choices that we're faced with right now. We're being faced with it as a challenge. It's really challenging us. Maybe for some of us, it feels more, more of a struggle. Maybe for some of us, it feels a little more graceful and easy. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're at a choice point here. Everything that we're experiencing right now, that we're facing, is giving us this chance to make new choices, to see things differently in consideration of what we really believe to be a vision of prosperity for ourselves. So how that looks as a challenge, a lot of endings with jobs, homes, relationships, that's romantic, that's friendships, that's, even familial, family relationships. It's about really cutting ties with visions that we had in the past that we thought were going to bring us that fulfillment. It's hard. It's hard. And like I said, for some people, it's harder than for others. So that's what it looks like as a challenge right now, is this need to cut the cord, maybe on visions that we've been holding for so long. But the truth is the truth, and you know it in your heart. If it's not truly in your best interest, that's going to be the hard work that you have to do right now this week. So that's really it as a challenge. Endings are hard. No matter what it is that you're having to end, especially if you've been putting so much energy into it for a long time, it's like you're on autopilot almost. And it's like the energy is rushing in that channel because you've been directing it consciously for so long into that channel, for so long that it's become second nature. Like it's just you're going in that direction. And now your higher self is looking at that and saying, gotta redirect that. So it might be uncomfortable, because you're having to redirect that energy. And while you're redirecting the energy, things inside of you are reflecting that turn, that shift. And that's like, whoa, you could feel it in your body. You could feel it in your thoughts. You could feel it in your emotions. And then in your cells, very physically. It can make you sick, because the energy has been moving in one way and your whole being gets used to that. And now it's like, oh, time to do something that might be a little uncomfortable. But it's what has to be done. So that's the challenging part of it. But when you respond from an empowered and conscious perspective, each time you do this, I'm saying each moment you do this, you're alchemizing that challenge into the gift. And so just as challenging as it felt, it will be equally as rewarding if you stick to it. And your higher self knows the way. So it's about knowing that just as hard as it is, the reward is right there on the other side. As you let go of old ideas of what prosperity was, the new ones that take their place will help you to soar in the ways that you've been wanting to your whole life, in ways that your soul knows you came here for. So when it feels painful, when the endings, when the endings on this material plane feel difficult, remember that although it's ending, the new beginning is following right after. Life is a circle, baby. It's the circle of life, the ring of light. It's always rotating. Tarot, rota, rotate. It's the wheel always turning, the same story. So don't be afraid when it seems like things are ending on this material plane. It's only a new beginning for you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and then ultimately, physically as well. It looks like an ending, but the new beginning is right on the other side. All right, let's get into the next question. Where are we headed? What is this all for? Why are we doing this? I mean, it seems pretty clear to me, but let's see what the cards have to say. What is coming at the end of this cycle? The star, that's who you are. anytime this card comes up, when I share a picture of it or when it comes from a reading, y'all feel it. Everybody's always like, wow, that's my favorite card. Oh my goodness, everybody messages me privately saying, that was my favorite, that's my favorite, the star's my favorite. Why? Because we feel so connected to this one, because the star is the center, it's the light inside. Notice how she's pouring water. It's reflecting the stars above, but it's also reflecting her own image. Look at her hair, it's golden like the star. It's not about some blonde woman, it's about this archetype within you that is connected to the stars. It's all symbolic, it's metaphorical. And it's this, so there's more, let's talk about it. This is what's coming. And the star comes right after the tower. And it's a sequential story. So you always want to look to the cards before and after. So the card right before is the tower. That's when everything that no longer serves falls away. And you're left with the only thing that can never be taken from you. The star of hope inside. The light that guides the way. A little hint for you. Arcanum 9, card number 9, the sage, also known as the hermit, is holding a lantern with what inside? A star. Not just a regular light, a star, because he's guided by that light. And by the way, another fun fact, what comes after the star? Because you want to look at the card not only before, but also after. The moon. And the moon is card 18, but when you reduce it to a single digit, 1 plus 8, it's a 9. So the moon is connected to the sage. So you see how these are all connected. They're all connected. Okay, let's try that again with the star card, 17. What is the number when you reduce it to a single digit? 17. 1 plus 7, 8. 8 in the non-manipulated original ancient tarot is the balance. Think of an 8 on its side, infinity. Balance is eternal. So the star is connected to balance. And you see that clearly because if it's the star of hope inside that we're talking about, it's this balance within us. The purpose of why we're here. That balance within us, you can think of it as the divine masculine and feminine, or the divine parents within. They are the star, the light inside, guiding the way. That's a fun fact. Whenever you take a double digit card and you reduce it to a single digit, you will see the keynote of that card. The double digits are the evolution of those keynotes. So that really opens up a whole nother world of tarot wisdom for you. Okay, so we're going through these endings so that we can reach a new beginning that reflects our authenticity of who we truly are. We're going through this right now so that we can return to the center, the light of who we truly are, so that we can come to that quiet place of meditation outside of the noise of the world, to remember who we really are, the stars. And if you look here, there's 8 points on the star, again, reflecting the keynote of this card, which is balance. So this is what we're working toward this month. The struggles may be hard. The shifts that we're going through right now may be hard. The refining, the letting go of our old ideas of prosperity may be hard, but it's also that we can return to the truth of who we really are. This is very motivational. It's so inspirational to think that this is what we're on our way to. It's all worth it, because whatever we're having to let go of right now, we just have to remember in our hardest moments, when it's the most difficult, we have to remember it's not who I authentically am. And knowing this, it helps me to let go more gracefully, more easily, knowing that what's meant for me will absolutely be. She's pouring water on the land and back into the water, and that's reflecting the need to nurture both our masculine and our feminine nature, our logical and our intuitional nature. Again, balance. So we're doing what we have to do right now. No matter how difficult it is, we're doing whatever we have to do to return to ourselves, and our true balance within. That's why we're really here. Each moment it's just about remembering that light, that balance within. That's really why we're here. And nothing else matters as much as this. challenge and gift this month. Setting up our material reality in a way that it provides a ritual for us to balance the unseen realms. Redefining what our vision of prosperity and fulfillment is here in this world, so that we can return to our authentic nature, who we truly are. The star. Thank you guys for opening up this portal with me. I'm going to load this to YouTube as usual. For those of you who are new to these activations, they typically happen every week. They've been ongoing for years. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/RebeccaMagic, just like my name here on Facebook with a K. I'm going to deactivate my Facebook again after this video. I literally came on just to do this because it was magically aligned. So go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. The video will be there. You can share the link to the video on your Facebook page. You can share it to your favorite lightworker, meditation, global activation groups, you know, symbolism groups, whatever you feel will resonate, you know, whoever you feel will resonate with this activation, go ahead and share, please. Like I said, this is going to be gone. I'm going to disappear. So if you want to share this message with someone you think really needs it, or someone you think will take all of us and this portal we just created to the next level, like somebody really powerful in your life that you think could help join us in activating this message from the archetypes, go ahead, share it with them, please. Like I said, it's going to be on youtube.com/RebeccaMagic. It is going to magically, poof, disappear when I deactivate my Facebook. So however you want to share it, however you can, please go ahead. I'll give you guys a little bit of time before I completely do my disappearing act. But for those of you who were here live for this, and for those of you who are watching at a later time, thank you for doing this work with me, for the one. I see you, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for this global network. Also, you guys, I'm still doing the classes every Wednesday. We are going through the whole Major Arcanum first. Tomorrow would be the class on Arcanum 12, but I'm going to wait until next week, so I'm postponing that. So you can always reach out to me by, let's see, contact me through YouTube, or you can email me at bexmagic@gmail.com, B-E-X, magic, and that's magic with a C-K, bexmagic@gmail.com. You can email me there if you want to get in on these classes. Like I said, we're up to Arcanum 12, so that means we have 13, including the 0, classes archived, as well as a Divine Feminine and a Divine Masculine class. So that means we've got hours and hours of material already recorded. So if you want to get in on those classes, please go ahead and email me or contact me through YouTube. And if you haven't yet seen my book, it's called The Royal Path: Activating the Archetypal Alliance Within. So if you go on Amazon and you just type in The Royal Path Activating, the book will pop right up. The Royal Path Activating. You can also feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email, bexmagic@gmail.com, or YouTube, and I will send you a copy personally, and I can sign it and write a little note in it, write a little fun note. I've been signing my Hebrew name in there, so that's pretty cool, and I just like the personal touch, and I like to connect with you guys, so reach out if you want to check out my book. The book is about how the tarot, by the way, means royal path, tarot, in ancient Egypt. It's about how the tarot is so much more than a deck of cards, that the royal path is all of life, and the universal language is symbolism. So if you want to connect to these cards, to these archetypes that exist within your mind, and ultimately within the universal mind, then my book is for you. Don't be intimidated, even if you've never learned a thing about tarot before, it doesn't matter. I wrote this for you. I wrote this so that anyone can tap into these angles of the mind, or angels of the mind. So yeah, if you want to get to know these characters and tap into their wisdom to help you, sort of like an alliance, then the book is for you. So reach out. I believe, Nancy, Shout out. Yeah. I believe that our group on Facebook, The Royal Path, our private group, is still active, if I'm not mistaken, even when I deactivate my Facebook. So y'all are welcome to join that private group. It's called The Royal Path. You can see Lara and Nancy in the comments. She's thebomb.com, and she is an admin in that group. And if I ever have anything to share, I may reach out to her. But there's some awesome people in that group, and I'm not forgetting about you guys. I love you all. I look forward to seeing you at the next class. And like I said, I'll be asking Nancy to share some things along the way. Thank you guys. I see you doing the work, creating that vision of fulfillment, no matter what it takes, that vision of prosperity, and moving toward it in reflection of who you authentically are, because you a star, baby. Aloha. Shalom.